What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your PS5 controller look pretty cool. So as you can see over here on the right side, I got two controllers, two PS5 Dualsense controllers, and they're all stock. Nothing's been done to them. Over here on the left side, I have a few controller shells from eXtremeRate. They're a company on Amazon. I'll throw a link down in the description if you want to check them out. But basically, these things go for about 14 bucks, and it pretty much replaces the black part. So as you can see, by default, from Sony, at least as of right now, this faceplate right here is just black. And eXtremeRate has like 31 or 32 colors, I think, to choose from. Pretty much everything you can think of. And they're pretty cool colors. So this one right here is called Metallic Regal Blue. As you can see, it's metallic, and so it's pretty sweet. This one right here is probably my favorite. This is a green, purple, chameleon color, so it kind of changes as you twist it around. Hopefully you can see that on camera, but when you're looking at a certain direction, it looks green, another direction looks purple, so pretty sweet. And then, of course, this right here is gold. Pretty self-explanatory and a classic, pretty cool color. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to put those on, and I also have some gold buttons we're going to put on as well, and make sure I don't lose them. But basically, you can pimp out your controller to look all gold if you want to. So you can make this part gold, you can make all your buttons gold, buttons here gold, triggers gold. And like I said, all of these accessories come from a company called eXtremeRate on Amazon. I'll throw some links down in the description so you can check them out. But yeah, I mean, they have like 30 plus colors of the faceplates. I think they have 30 plus colors of the buttons. They also have some colored touchpads and some colored joysticks. I don't have those right now, but you can check those out if you want to. And so one other thing, they also come with these tools right here. Basically, each one comes with a tool. So this one comes with a tool. This one comes with a tool. That basically just helps you pry it off the controller. And then, of course, with the buttons, it comes with a tool, and it also comes with a screwdriver. So basically, it comes with everything you need, and you're all ready to go. All right, guys, so I'm first going to show you how to put this chameleon green purple shell on, or faceplate, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty simple. So you're going to take your pry tool, and I actually think the first part is easiest just to do with your fingernail. But basically, you want to get right under the bottom part here, snap it off, and it actually comes off really easy, at least easier than I thought it would. And then you want to take your pry tool and basically just pry up on the sides until you get to this middle part right here. And I know the first time you do this is going to feel like you're breaking your controller. It's actually not quite as bad as some older consoles like the Xbox One controller and PS4 controller. I remember being pretty nerve-wracking trying to take these things off, but this one is not too bad. And it's actually a little bit harder for me right now because I'm trying to keep it in the view of the camera. But I got them all popped off there. As you can see, everything's popped off along the bottom. And now you just got to basically pull it off, and it'll all pop off. And then the one thing to watch out for, you have these two little pieces that stick up right there, and you just kind of got to wiggle it out and pull it out. You don't want to break those pieces. And as you can see, nothing broke. To be honest, it sounded like I was breaking, but all good to go. And there's the controller. Still works right there. And let's go ahead and put this piece on. So it's a little bit easier to put it on than take it off. Now this part, you gotta kind of get down to that groove and then flip it up a little bit. And so basically, once you get these two pieces under the lip right there, you just want to carefully push everything down. Oh, I pulled it out a little bit. I'm gonna get those under there. Just be careful not to break those pieces. Push it in a little bit. Push it in and down. And eventually it'll all snap into place. And there you go. So as you can see, flush there on the bottom, on the right side, left side. Actually, I had to push that piece in again. There we go. Now it's all flush everywhere. And as you can see, it looks OEM. I mean, it doesn't look like I replaced it. I mean, it obviously looks like I replaced it because it's a different color, but it doesn't look like it's a third-party piece. And of course, it doesn't affect any of your button presses. That button is still there. That one's still there, no issues at all. And I'm not going to show you this one because it's basically the same thing. But I'm going to go ahead and put all of the gold stuff on this controller. So I'm going to take this gold piece, go ahead and put it on, and then I'll show you the process of putting the gold buttons on as well. Alright, so I got faceplate off of this one. Same exact process as I just showed you. And now we're going to go to the back, and we're going to take off our left and right, or L1 and R1 off the trigger. So all you got to do is, we'll start with the right one. So you want to pull down, hold down on the right on R2, and you kind of just want to pry under R1, and eventually it's going to pop out. There you go. And now we'll do L1, and eventually it pops out. There you go. And one thing I forgot to mention, the eXtremeRate package actually comes with some extra screws in case you need them, in case you lose the screws in the PS5 controller. Let's go ahead and go to the next step now. Alright, so next thing you're going to do is take the 2 screws out from behind L1 and R1. So one right there, one right there. Alright, so there's the first screw. And I'm actually going to use my screwdriver from my iFixit kit. Nothing wrong with this one, it works just fine, but this one's a little bit better. Alright, so next up, once you've taken off those 2 screws, you want to take off the 2 off the bottom. So you got one right there, one right here. Alright, so what you're going to do next is you want to go on the bottom, and you can see these 2 little clips right here. I already took them off, but I'll show you again. 1 clip, 2 clip. You're going to basically take those clips off, or disengage them. And as you can see, the back is starting to come off from the sides and the bottom. You're going to have to use your pry tool to get a couple more clips off, and then you should be good to go. Alright, so I got that one side off. Now with this side. And boom. Alright, so after some wiggling, it has now come all the way off. And now you'll see that the back is exposed. And next thing you want to do here is just take the battery off. Pretty straightforward. You just pull it off and then you unclip this little piece right here. Comes off pretty easily. And then you also have a couple tabs down here you got to take off. Alright, so actually I was mistaken, it's just 1 clip you have to take off here. So you take off this clip right here, and then this piece will basically fall off, and you put it to the side. And next up, you want to unscrew this screw right here. And once you've unscrewed that, as you can see, it just the whole back piece just came off. And then next up, now you want to take off this other clip right here, which now it should be easier that you've moved all the other stuff. And now you should be able to take off this clip as well up here. Alright, and so once you took off the blue clip up here, you want to take off this clip on the right side. And it should come out. I'm pulling the whole board out right now. And then you can get the clip off the left side as well. And now you should be able to wiggle up this control board. If you look at the front, you can kind of see your analog sticks coming out. So you just want to be careful pulling those out. And there you go. So once you have the circuit board off, you want to take off 1, 2 screws right there. Alright, so now that you got those 2 screws, you want to take off 1 screw there, 1 screw there. Alright, so now you get those screws off, you can kind of put the circuit board up a little bit more and pull out the side components. And it basically just comes completely loose from the shell in the front. So as you can see, all your electronics go off to the side. And now you're left with the front plate, which should be a little bit more self-explanatory. You want to take off these 2 rubber pieces right here, where all the buttons are. And then basically you can just dump the buttons out if you want to. There we go. Push those to the side. And so at this point you want to start putting the buttons in. So we're going to go ahead and take our gold buttons and start putting them in here. And I believe each one has a different way that it fits into the slot. So you basically just gotta play some puzzle games here to get them to fit. Alright, so I have those gold buttons in. Next I want to put the D-pad in, which only fits one way. There you go. And now we can put these little covers back on. And it's a little weird putting these covers back on, but basically you just gotta line them up with these holes and get them to go into the little white posts, and it'll fit just fine. So there you go, got those pieces back on. And you also want to put in the piece that goes for your start and select buttons. Alright, so the start and select buttons just slide right in, as you can see. So now we have our start and select buttons, and our regular buttons, and our D-pad in. So it's looking pretty good. Alright, so once you got that in place, you want to put that off to the side. And we're going to grab our electronics again and put the R2 and L2 buttons in. So if you look here in the front, you got 2 screws right there. You want to take those off first. Alright, so when you take those 2 screws out, you'll have, this is L2, L2 will fall right out. Let me zoom in on it so you can see it a little better. And this gets a little bit finicky right here, and this is how you're going to put, basically put your new L2 button on. And one other thing you're going to need here that I didn't mention earlier is you're going to need a type of needle nose plier type of thing so you can pull out this. And it would be helpful to have earlier too, but I wasn't using it earlier. So you want to pull out this blue tab right here. And once you have the needle nose pliers, it shouldn't be too hard. Then you got to take off this little tiny screw right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Kind of blends in because it's all black. And then you want to flip over to the other side and you have 3 more screws. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so once you have those 3 screws off, you can take off this piece right here. And then next you want to take off this piece right here. And then next you want to take out this little rod that goes right here. Boom. And now your L2 slides right off, and you have to put your replacement L2 on now. So let's see if we can get this on real quick. Alright, so once you got it on there, you just got to reverse the process. Make sure these gears don't fall out of place, but now you want to put the little rod back through. And so next you want to put this little piece back on, and there's a little trick to it. If you look closely on this little wheel right here, you'll still see there's 3 little holes. You gotta make sure those 3 little holes line up as I'm showing you right now, and your gear will fit right in place and slide back and forth. And you'll definitely know if you have that wrong. And then next up, you want to put this piece back on. And this piece, all you gotta do is line up the 3 holes. And once you get those lined up, you just gotta put the 3 screws back in. And once you're done putting that piece back on, you gotta flip back to the other side, put this one screw back in, right where that blue clip was. And now once you got that screw in, you wanna take your blue clip and get it back into the connector, as so. Alright, so now you're done with this side, and as you can see, you can pretty easily tell that this L2 is working as it should be. And now I'm gonna go over and do R2. I'm not going to show it on video just because it's going to be the exact same process, but basically just follow the exact same process with R2 and you should be able to get it done. Alright, so actually real quick before I do R2, I want to show you L2. I screwed it back in, and as you can see, works great. And for R2, the screws are over on the right side obviously, so you want to take out these 2 screws and do the exact same process. Alright guys, so now that you have L2 and R2 back on, you basically do the reverse of everything, put all the screws and stuff back together, and I'll come back once I have the entire controller together and I'll show you how to put the gold faceplate on. Alright guys, so I got the controller back together, and I'm going to show you the last few pieces you got to put on. So you got R2 over here, so you're going to put R1 over there as well. And you basically just push it into place and it'll eventually click in there. And now you want to do the same thing with L1. Push it in there and it'll eventually click in. And there you go. L1, R1, L2, R2. Got your D-pad, start, select, all these front buttons work. You also want to make sure your power still works and that your controller still works as normal when you plug it back in. And last but not least, we got to put our faceplate on. So like I showed you earlier, not too hard to do, but you want to make sure you put these 2 pieces down and in before you do anything else. And you kind of just want to slide it in there. You might have to jiggle things around before you can get it down, but just be careful not to break it. Alright, so I got it down there. Gotta finish the last few clicks here. Click those pieces into place first. And now you want to do the last part down here. And there you go. We got a full gold controller. Well, not quite full. Obviously there's still a white part, but so you got your full gold faceplate right here. You got your buttons, your start, select, your D-pad, your R1, L1, R2, L2, and they all work great, feel great, and it looks pretty sweet. So like I said, all this stuff came from eXtremeRate. This is the original black one that came on it, and like I showed you, got gold, got the gold buttons, got the chameleon faceplate as well, got the blue faceplate, and like I said, they have like 30 plus different colors of these faceplates and buttons and everything. So definitely go check them out in the description below. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you out, and have a great day.